Hello everybody and welcome to this lecture by the Vaidya's Chess Hub, and in today's video we are going to look at one of the most basic checkmates that you should learn, the mate with the king and the queen. Now I have set up a position at random and it is white to play here. Now the reason why this mate becomes so important is you don't want to end this winning game into a stalemate. If you are white here, you definitely would not want this game to end in a stalemate. If you're black, that's exactly what you want, but in this position, if you're white, you're a queen up, it's important you know how to finish your opponent with a checkmate, not with a stalemate. So let's get started with this. So what are we going to do? How are we going to achieve this checkmate? Well, the answer is simple. We are going to press the king in the corner using our queen and our king. Let's see how to achieve that. It's white to play here, and it's all about limiting the king's space. So at the moment, the first move that comes to my mind is the queen to e5. Now what will happen because of that move is that the king will be restricted only in these squares. So I'm going to play queen to e5. Now the black doesn't have to leave the rank at all, so he can just probably continue with king to b6. Again, my idea is to limit the space, so I could play queen to d5 and again restrict the king only to these many squares. So queen to d5. Black king now really wouldn't want to go in the corner, so probably would play king to c7. Again, the same ideology. The queen, what queen will have to do is probably go to the square that limits the squares for the king. So the queen will go to e6 square, thereby again limiting the king's mobility. The king now could go to b7. Again, the queen moves to d6. The idea is to limit the king only to these many squares. And now the king has to go in the corner. He either goes to the corner that is on the a file or goes to the 8th rank somewhere. Let's say the king goes to c8, and now the move is queen to e7. Mind you, you don't want to go to e7 because the king will just capture the queen. So as a beginner, you have to be careful to maneuver the queen where it is now hanging. Don't be all excited and give a check and the king can simply capture the queen. Be watchful about that. And now because of this move, we've just restricted the king only to these squares. That's all that the king has to move. Okay, so the black king is forced to go to b8. Keep pressing, and now the black king will have only one square, and it is here that I want your attention 100%, because if you make a wrong move here, you will cause a stalemate situation. If you push the queen one more time hoping to put the king into the corner forever, you will just end the game with a stalemate, because if you play the move queen to c7, the king will not be in check and the king will have no move to make. And remember, that is a stalemate. If you haven't watched the video on checkmate and stalemate, I sincerely recommend you do that. So you don't move the queen now. You let the king have these two squares and now start pushing your king. Black will have no option but to keep playing b8 and a8 and b8 and a8. You keep pushing your king, keep pushing it, and now you have checkmate on either of these squares. Or in fact, there are three squares. Queen b7 is checkmate. So my point to conclude this video is you are going to achieve the checkmate using your king and your queen. With your queen, restrict the king, the squares of the king, start taking the ranks and the files, push the king in the corner, but let the king have those final two squares. Then start pushing your king. The black king will have no option but to just keep switching between those two squares and finally deliver the checkmate with the queen. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and as I always say, keep playing, keep enjoying, keep learning, and thank you so much for watching this video. Do leave your suggestions and your comments, and if you like our effort, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.